looking around. The kids are just like, la, la, la. I'm sitting next to you in the box like, quack, 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 quack. And I'm laughing. I'm like, this is a standout. The music elevated this movie tenfold for me. Hey, I'm Teresa. Welcome to our weekend show of Cocoon Cast, where we deep dive into movies and discuss all things cinema.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. Today we'll be discussing the new movie, Migration.
And we have some spacey news, Rebecca.
Looks like there's a new Star Wars movie not so far, far away.
Awesome. Let's get started.
Mac is happy to keep his flock safe and sound with the help of Pam, his wife, in their own private pond. But when his kids, Dax and Gwen, convince the rest of the family to go on a migration for the first time in a long time, he's forced to challenge his frontiers and rise to the occasion. Will he find his footing, or is this trip destined to become everything he's feared?
Rebecca, Illumination. New movie, Migration.
New movie.
Not excited.
Yeah, I think the only thing that sold you was the minion on the disco ball.
I'd like to say no, but yes. Flying back and forth on a disco ball, la 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 la, and the barrage of trailers.
Yep, the same trailer for about 3 or 4 months. We saw that trailer.
And every time I wanted to go, I'm gonna like it. And every time I thought, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this.
You need a hug.
Can you let go now?
You feel better?
No.
Then it hasn't kicked in yet.
And it felt like you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You've seen the trailer. Well, you've seen the trailer as many times as I have, probably, or maybe even more.
Yep.
It felt like I've seen the trailer. I've seen the movie. Check, please.
What is that? Chocolat Rouge.
What's the color orange?
It's you with l'orange on top.
Done. Thank you. And yet, I wanted to give it a shot. It's Illumination Studios, Despicable Me, Sing.
You love Sing.
I love Sing. One of my favorite franchises from them. Secret World of Pets, pretty good.
Secret Life of Pets is pretty good.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Secret Life of Pets, yes. I was excited from that. But the screenplay. Let's talk about the screenplay.
I think it was the subliminal marketing. If you pause the trailer right after he swings the disco ball for the second time, Illumination, the only word that's basically lit up is minion.
Sold me, right?
You're an easy crowd.
You're right. I'm an easy one. It's like, wow, ooh, disco ball, woo. And it wasn't even in the movie at all.
Nope. Instead, we had a cute little duck call opening with the minion. So at least they carried that theme through.
In the little short, the moon short was something I wasn't expecting.
Moon. That was cute.
Yeah, that was pretty cute.
So we're talking about the screenplay.
And they dive in, and your thought was?
Oh, crap.
Can we land?
You're old enough to do it in the sky now. We have a number 2 situation.
Oh.
But it's gross.
Every bird does it in the sky.
What if someone is looking down there?
No one is looking down there. I told you we are not landing. There is no way we're landing.
Are you sure no one's watching?
Gwen Mallard, do it now, or we leave without you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, right?
I didn't have the internal loathing that Teresa had towards this movie. There was a couple jokes in the trailer, then like, okay, maybe they can go into edgy kid territory. That's always funny for me.
Don't worry, Chump's gotcha.
So listen, Chump.
What? Did you just call me?
Sorry, I thought your name was Chump.
Yeah, Chump. Yeah, that's my name. What?
Right. So listen, Chump.
What did you just call me?
I'm sorry. Is everyone else hearing Chump?
No.
No. It's funny because... It's funny because it's not funny.
Oof.
It wasn't particularly original. Obviously, in kid movies, you kind of go in there, right? I'm, middle-aged mom. I'm not their target audience. They're not like, hey, you're going to be buying the merchandise. No. And I understood that. I took that into account. Screenplay very predictable for the adults, I'm sure.
We're trying to get to Jamaica.
Come on, lovebirds. It's this way.
Whoa, we are not flying through this crazy death trap of a city.
Just stick close to me, and everything will be all right. I'm okay. Yeah, no, I'm okay. We can do this. Ha ha! You missed, boss! Maybe don't stick too close.
And you recall who was having a hard time with this?
Well, the nice thing about movies is they're magical for the people sometimes who might not be your expected audience just yet. In fact, we had a kid in our screening.
Oh, the kid in packed house. Pretty much every seat taken. A lot of kids on vacation. Everyone, I think, was, 2 feet shorter than us, except for the moms and the dads and some of the grandparents. Our target audience. Do you recall this young man way down near the front?
About 3 rows away from us.
Yes. The whole idea is the migration. They want to go to Jamaica. Dad's anxious. He's afraid. And they're in this precarious situation, of course. Multiple times this happens. And this kid, from way down, what does he say? They're not going to make it.
We're not gonna make it, are we?
Uncle Dan!
And I'm like, I love it. He was getting into it. And I was like, okay, let me try to be that kid where I'm literally afraid for this family. But it wasn't too funny.
The fear factor or just
I don't laugh at fear. I don't go, they're not going to make it. It just, the screenplay was challenging. It wasn't that funny, but the casting was good.
I love Kumail. Kumail, I've been following his career since The Meltdown, which is the comedy show that him and Jonah Ray used to do at Meltdown Comics. So it's kind of funny to follow this career. I know, Teresa, you really liked him in Stuber. I was really happy to see you loved him in Stuber.
And Stuber's a hokey movie, but he didn't dial it in.
Was your mother? That is not your mother.
Yeah, and that's one of
That
the
I
things
appreciated.
that I get a little annoyed about some animated movies these days. It's like, we have a celebrity voice. Hey, there's some marketing. Cast them. It just gets annoying really fast. I
Correct.
think the one that bothered me in that department for this movie was Keegan-Michael Key. I think Keegan-Michael Key is pretty funny.
Sure.
But I needed an anger translator to express how angry I was that he just did this Jamaican impersonation and they didn't actually hire a talented Jamaican actor.
I agree with that. And we need to maybe give our cinema community a little bit more context, right? Keegan was the macaw who's trapped in a cage he's living in Manhattan in a cage, needs to get back to Jamaica. Then Kumail was the mallard, Mac Mallard, the father, really anxious duck. I appreciated that. There were some jokes around how he was kind of sweating bullets over there going, oh. Mom, Elizabeth Bank, she was okay. The part that I did appreciate are their 2 young kids, no real credits to their name, brand new on the scene, and they were pretty good for kid actors. I wasn't thinking that was too bad, to be honest with you.
Hey there. Dax talked to a girl.
A girl?
He wants to marry her.
What? I didn't say that!
You said it with your eyes.
No, I think the tough thing with kid actors and voice acting in general in that department is their voices can be kind of grating.
Sure,
if
could
they
be.
don't know how to balance the tones of excited, happy, anything like emotional regulation like an adult would have.
Sure, and there's other actors. Awkwafina, I love Awkwafina. Crazy Rich Asian, she was really terrific in. With Awkwafina, too, she's a great dramatic actress. She won the Golden Globe 2019 for The Farewell.
I remember seeing that.
That was powerful. I still remember that. And Danny DeVito.
Love Danny DeVito.
Well, and he was, little crotchety uncle, kind of feels kind of grandpa-ish in kind of a, curmudgeon-y.
Very familiar way.
In a very, exactly, familiar curmudgeon-y kind of a way. Not bad. Carol Kane, I remember her back when I was a kid watching Taxi. She was married to Andy Kaufman.
She's been in a lot of these bit parts recently. I watched this show called Hunters a few years ago with The Box. I really liked her in that.
Okay, she
did a
Princess
little
Bride, remember?
Yes, and then she was in Gotham. She was playing the Penguin's mom.
Okay. I have to think about that one. I just remember she's gone on to be in Wicked for the Broadway version for years. So the casting wasn't terrible. The voice acting wasn't good or wasn't terrible. The story was difficult. I know for me what really stood out was the music.
I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together.
Everywhere I will be with you. Everything I will do for you. I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together.
Everywhere I will be with you. Everything I will do for you.
That would probably be John Powell, right?
That's John Powell. We were laughing. He did the duck opera or the quack opera. And there was this one part we were sitting there. The movie was long, what, an hour and a half, and it felt
Longer.
It felt much longer. And I kind of chuckled because I'm listening to the music, enjoying the music, right? John Powell's done the Bourne series, Face Off, your movie, How to Train Your Dragon.
Specifically recommending 2 and 3 for the music. Definitely check out the soundtracks for that.
Oh, the music was great. But we're sitting there and just like, quack, 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 quack. And I'm like, looking around. You know, kids are just like, la, la, la. I'm sitting next to you in the box, like, quack, 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 quack. And I'm laughing. I'm like, this is a standout. The music elevated this movie tenfold for me.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's all it's quacked up to be.
It's all, well, and honestly, this movie is a challenge.
I want to find positive things about this movie because I know there's going to be kids that love it. And
Sure.
I don't want the parents that are going to be taking their kids to this movie to think, oh man, I'm in for a slog. I want to point out these good things so you can enjoy the movie along with your kids.
The producers, I think, had something to do with it. I think that's the other part of it. It was well produced. You were talking about the color was really attractive to you.
Yeah, it wasn't this sea of drab. You definitely could follow like the art style through the different sequences and it felt cohesive.
It did
but
feel
it
cohesive.
felt nice to look at without hurting my eyes.
Which is saying something because some kid movies are sunglasses, please. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the hard part for me was definitely getting past a very lackluster screenplay. And I also think that there was a part where at the end it felt as if there could potentially be a sequel.
Oh, I didn't see that at all. It felt like they wrapped that up in the credits with the little pictures that they showed.
I don't know, girl. I think there might be a 2.
If there's a 2, hopefully it's better than 1.
And that'll happen in occasion. Do we have any questions from the box?
Purely from a 7-year-old's perspective, do you think they will be entertained?
I think this will be entertaining to a 7-year-old, maybe the first 3 times they watch it.
7-year-olds always watch movies more than once. That's funny. I think that's true, actually. That probably is their target audience. And as we were saying, trying to be 7-year-old selves. I think when you do that, you see it differently. However, I think it still could have been more original. Although, how many duck movies do you know?
There's no Dynasty of Duck movies, you're saying?
There's no duck. It is. I think that there is some originality in that piece.
I did like the fact that they talked about the characters' emotional landscapes, like with the dad being afraid and the kids kind of trying to find their own way. I think that's a really nice story to touch on, especially for younger kids.
I would agree with that. There was more happening than just we're trying to get from point A to point B. Do we have any other questions from the box?
The trailer was played prominently, as we pointed out. Were there any surprises without spoiling the movie that weren't in the trailer?
I think the thing that surprised me the most with this movie was one of the characters in the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you know this character is a nice character. But in the movie, there's a little bit of a disturbing, is this person really all that they say that they are? And I thought that was kind of a neat sequence. It kind of played on the fears of some of the characters, but also played on audience expectations for kids' movies.
One thing I noticed more recently, right, having just seen it, is there was one character, and truly I'm not trying to spoil it, not be cagey, but his growth, give you a little bit of a hint, became something different, meaning it looked in the trailer as if this person was not forced, but really strongly compelled to do something he didn't feel comfortable doing. But in the end, he actually owned it for himself and said, I want to do this. And the growth with him was apparent, and it wasn't short-lived. It wasn't like, oh, well, we're out of danger, so now I'm reverting. It was, wow, this is a real change. The other part that actually wasn't shown in the 355,000 trailers we saw was, it was interesting to me, the relationships, the depths of the mom and the dad, the sibling part. I know you kind of me a few times and said, oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, that's kind of cute. This brother-sister relationship. So I do believe that there was some depth and some sweetness and kindness, which with Illumination, I tend to see really cute storylines and real strong connections between the characters that I like.
And even if the connections aren't initially there,
yes,
you really start to see how the characters treat each other and then forge a connection, whether positive or negative.
Correct. And I do like that a bunch. I know I'm crazy snarky about this movie. the flock and stupid just comes to my mind. And it's hard because I do believe that there are probably some redeeming qualities that maybe because I'm not the target audience, I don't easily see.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. There's one instance that I expected a darker outcome, but then I realized because I'm an adult, and not only do I have a dark sense of humor, I have a different perspective on life than a 7-year-old.
Correct. And that's a great statement that the 7-year-old would not even see that as a possibility, let alone, oh, that's where they're going. Except for this one kid who thinks they're not getting out, and which was so funny because clearly Mr. 7-year-old, a few rows down, you've not seen kid movies. They usually work out pretty well.
Or they had parents that let them read the unabridged Grimm's fairy tales. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. There's therapy for that. 1 to 5 on that happy note. Wow. Boy, Parent of the Year award over here.
2 times in 1 year? Dang, you're good.
Wow, I know. Go me, right? And the year's just started. 1 to 5 moths. I should say ducks, right? But they're moths. So what do you think? 1 to 5, what do you think?
1 and a wing.
1 and a wing. Wow, pretty low.
It's not a good kids movie. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's
clearly.
definitely edging towards one of the worst I've ever seen. Wait till this one hits streaming, guys, when you want a quiet night in and just something to put on for the kids.
Wow. Okay. Ooh. I actually think I might be rating this one a little bit higher than you, which is kind of frightening to me.
That scares me.
That should very
Scare
much
me more.
1 to 5. I would say it is a 2.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 2 and a wing.
It's just not average enough.
Oof.
Average, I would have been. Oh, yeah, I know. It's like average enough. I'm like, yeah, but no, I don't feel like the actors phoned it in. That was phenomenal. Because that would have been like, oh, that would have been a 1-winger. But I appreciated that they didn't phone it in. As you said, there were some relationships that were forged. Okay, felt maybe a little bit too scary or perilous for some kids, I think. And the music. For me, it was the music and the casting that didn't phone it in. And to me, that doesn't even make it average, because the average to me would be storyline. I think a lot of kids would love it. They're going to want, little ducks, stuffed ducks and everything. But the bright, shiny piece for it was it had an epilogue. Even Boys in the Boat didn't have an epilogue. This movie even had an epilogue. Therefore, we actually knew what became of the family after the movie, which I appreciated.
George Clooney is going to get our number sometime soon. I have a bad feeling
I
about
have
this.
a feeling. George Clooney, if you're watching, please comment below.
If you enjoyed our review on Migration, please like, which helps more viewers, including George Clooney, find our cinema community, and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming reviews, and please share with your friends.
Rebecca, it is that time of the show where we talk about who we are not sponsored by this week.
That could go any number of directions. Who are we not sponsored by this week?
One more company. We are not sponsored by Duck Brand Duct Tape.
Wow, like Quack Quack?
Literally like Quack Quack.
Oh man, I should have worn my U of O merch. That would have been perfect for
It's
this.
Quack Quack. I know. I actually have some. Their website is actually duckbrand.com.
Oh, it should have been Duck Duck Tape.
duck tape. Exactly, but it's the quacky kind. Seriously, that's if you look at their packaging, there's literally a duck on there.
Not made from real ducks, right?
No, actually, they have so many products. You can't even imagine how many products. We don't even have time to talk about all of their products.
And also the box has told us not to list all of their products.
It's just too many to consider. Well, and you think about the box is probably sensitive. We have moving and storage supplies and boxes. Ooh. Relatives of the box.
Boxolibalism.
Boxalism, exactly. But let's talk about some of their cooler things, not just some of their, you can go on their website and you can read everything they have. Some of my favorite things that they literally have craft and decor tapes.
Is that the one that I showed you with the tie-dye that I have for my boots?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh, wow, I'm noticing they have glitter tape.
Oh, okay. I'm interested in that.
I would say, well, after the disco ball and everything, I'm thinking, ooh, glitter tapes. They have chalkboard tape. So literally, instead of, doing the chalkboard paint, they literally have, and then they have the cork, and that's literally tape.
So it's cork, but it's in tape form?
That's my understanding.
Huh.
I wish they would sponsor us. Maybe they could answer my thousands of questions. It's like, you have glitter tape? Yes, we do. We have painter's tape? Yes, we do. You have cork tape? Yes, lady, we do. I thought it was kind of interesting. The other one that I really liked was their it's called their Flourish line.
Is that a tape, but it's looks like pens? What is that?
Well, here's their billing Flourish as simple, sustainable. It's made from recycled content. That's
that is
their
actually
idea.
kind of cool.
Well, I like that actually because a lot of their, they're plasticky and all of this. And so they're saying by 2025, next year, they're going to have sustainable certifications. Their next goal is 2030, which seems pretty far away. But their idea is to work on more packaging alternatives because, again, they do packing supplies and they do different products around that. They do cushion wrap. And they have it where the goal is you use their product and then, and most people have curbside recycling. And then you can recycle all of those things.
That is pretty cool and nifty.
I got to tell you, I was actually pretty impressed because if you go on their website, they literally have videos of all these different products that they have.
I'm definitely going to have to check out that cork tape now.
I know. Now I'm over there going, But I think it's pretty cool, too, because they're talking about, like the little peanuts that they put in packing and all of that good stuff. They're working toward their own little, peanuts, if you will, their little modified version of that. And with the goal around that is also recycling.
Peanuts for plastic.
Exactly. And here's the great thing. So they come in these little, little crinkly paper and, the little, what are they called? They're called spiral cushion fill.
Okay.
Like spiral. And it expands to 10 times its size. Like you put it in there, and then it protects whatever you're shipping.
Oh, see, I thought you pour water all of a sudden.
If they would call me back, maybe I would know the answer to that now. I don't think so, though.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. But my favorite thing is they have a contest every year.
I've heard about this contest. Tell our cinema community about this.
Cinema community. Every year they have a contest. It's called Stuck at Prom.
And we don't mean leave your date at prom kind of way.
No, it's hilarious because they have it. And this is totally worth it. If you're younger, you have kids, cousins, nieces, nephews. They have it where they have, a couple of these, but they have it where you make a prom dress. So that's one of their little Stuck at Proms. The other is make a tux with their duct tape, literally. You can win $10,000 for the dress or the tux. 10 grand scholarship.
That's pretty neat, huh?
I think that's pretty generous of them. And they also have runner-ups. Their runner-ups win $500.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're actually thinking, hey, this is a good thing. And then they have, it's hilarious. They have it where you go, can you visualize this? Because I'm in my head going, what does that look like? You know, it's like, you know, so you have like this little mummy kind of looking thing. They don't actually. If you go on their website, they show you past winners. So you
kind of
literally,
give you some inspo.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Honestly, that alone impressed me. Granted, I'm a little bit past the prom age. However, I'm thinking, of course, the first thought is, right, they have this really cool looking dress. Everybody's taking pictures. They're, you know, doing this. One gal, she's like in this pink tuxedo, which I thought was actually pretty cute.
Oh.
But the part that cracked me up, I'm thinking, that's awkward because it better look good when it's on, because after you've taken it off, guess what happens?
You got to send it to them, or?
No more dress, no more tuxedo, because you think about it, you're like, and then you go, and then that's the end of it. Obviously, you're not thinking that for a prom dress.
Well, I am. I'm just thinking about, like, would you do lace-up straps out of duct tape? Would you do, like, a zipper full, like, out of duct tape? I'm thinking, like, more historical silhouettes you could slide in and out.
Oh, I'm thinking you're just... And then that's about it.
David Burns in a duct tape suit.
That's what it looked like. So, very fascinating company. However, guess what?
Still didn't sponsor us.
Still didn't sponsor us. So thank you, duct tape, quack, 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 for not sponsoring us.
It's that time in the show where we want to hear from you. We'd love to see your comments on our videos. They're always fun to read, and especially your rating of movies and why. Now let's read and talk about some of those cool comments we've been getting, Teresa.
Sure. First up, we have Logan, who commented on our tiny tidbit about the movie The Iron Claw. Here's what they said. I have that Soul Calibur shirt.
Oh man, I'm wearing my Stevie Nicks shirt.
Yeah, I think that one was directed at you, Rebecca.
Well, I don't remember you playing Soul Calibur with me when I was younger, so probably a safe bet.
Probably you.
The shirt I was wearing is from this company called 86th. They're totally awesome. They specifically focus on fighting games. There's a few games that are outside of that wheelhouse, like Terraria, but I'm always a sucker for a good Soul Calibur shirt, and they were super comfy when we were filming, 5 hours of video?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
They're also fun in my day-to-day life when I'm not recording. Sometimes I won't be able to get home, change for an event or something, and they're great and they're easy to dress up. I love them. Thank you, guys.
I'm thinking, in my own defense, yeah, I just learning about Soul Calibur, so yeah, right.
All you need to know is historical fiction with swords.
I'm with you.
Next up, we have Dom Walker, D-O-M, 6526, who commented on a review of Saltburn. Here's what they had to say. Film was pretty good. Had fun with it, but it's all too on the nose while giving us everything but character motivations. I did think it was a good time, although flawed. We've been seeing this a lot lately, that people are still questioning the motivations in Saltburn, and I think that's a sign of a good movie, not a terrible movie, where you're still pondering things. Some things I think are better left in the air. What do you think?
I think Saltburn is streaming at this point.
Yes, it is on Amazon Prime.
So if you missed it,
Now's your chance.
now's the chance. Yeah, there's a ton of comments on Saltburn. Finally, we have Melaviv28, who commented on our review of The Color Purple. Here's what they had to say. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. This may be my favorite episode of Cocoon Cast. High five it. Yet, it made me feel all the feels. You guys bring such insight and depth to the movie, and it's refreshing. Aw. On another note, I have not seen the movie yet, and I'm so excited to. But after watching your review, I'm even more excited. Yay! Oh, that's good. No spoilers. From the trailers, I agree. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous, and the movie stays with you. I watched the original adaptation from Spielberg, perhaps too young to fully comprehend the story. So I'm excited to watch this adaptation as an adult. That's true. Also, I called Rebecca's moth rating correctly about halfway through and got it right this time. There is a running joke, my friend, about your moth ratings.
Yeah, some of our more personal cinema community has commented on the fact that They think I'm going to give a movie a certain rating, and then about halfway through, they're not so sure, and then it changes about 3 or 4 times before I get to the actual rating.
I think Mel Aviv got you right this time.
I'm not afraid of being mysterious, but...
But you're
Wow.
not mysterious for mysterious sake.
No, I want to point out the good, the bad, and the not so great about movies because it's a complete and total package for me.
I agree with that. And I'm excited that Mel Aviv is going to see it. I hope they come back and they say it was as good as I thought, not as good as I thought, or what's their Moth rating?
Comment below your review of The Color Purple on the Color Purple video. We'd love to see it.
Absolutely. And now it's time for some Hollywood news. Rebecca, what's going on out there?
Well, we're back to our regular scheduled program in more than one way this week.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
They're deleting streaming media.
Who's they?
Well, the they in question this week is Warner Brothers Discovery.
Oof. Ooh. And who are you reading this from?
Today's article comes from the Nerdist. It's Rotem Rasek bringing us the news this time.
Unpack it. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, so you know how PlayStation has an agreement with Warner Brothers Discovery that they license their programs for their people to purchase it. If
Okay,
you're a
fair enough.
PlayStation Store person, you can purchase a Warner Brothers Discovery program.
Can you still do that? You said you could. I'm like, uh-oh.
It's a whole thing. What happened was Warner Brothers Discovery made this announcement through PlayStation that they were going to be deleting some of their programs. And by some, I mean over 2,000. The reason I'm bringing this to our attention, I know a lot of the programming listed on that list is unscripted reality program. The PlayStation users in question bought these titles.
Oh, wow. So it's not, hey, this is the benefit. Now we're
No.
taking it away. It's money was exchanged.
Yes, money was exchanged, and there was no chance of you're going to get a refund, you're going to get credits. Nothing like that. December 31st,
Gone.
yes, their licensing
Oh.
expired. And it's really frustrating because the public turned on them, and then they're like, okay, we're done. And the new agreement is supposed to last 30 months, that they're not going to touch your stuff for 30 months.
After they've done this, though. Not before.
Well, they put it back.
Oh. I love it. They take it away. Oh, never mind. Our bad. It's coming back. Oh, wowza.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I actually went through the entire list.
Of the 2000. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what'd you see?
None of it was fictional programming, but that didn't alleviate my fears that there was still some fictionally scripted content from Warner Brothers Discovery.
We've talked about physical media on Cocoon Cast and how we respect it and value it, although, of course, it takes more space. Yeah, right? But yeah, this isn't good.
I'm not happy. I feel like I've said that.
I was
the
going to say,
past year.
I think this has been the story.
I feel like I just need to hold up a sign outside of Warner Brothers Discovery and go, down with this sort of thing, and it could be anything. It could be anything
It
at this
covers
point.
a lot. You're talking about consumer rights.
That's correct.
And to me, there's just the ultimate disrespect. It's like, you paid for it. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, oops, sorry. We're not going to do that anymore. It just keeps happening.
And it's monstrous to me because there's no sign of stopping unless
That's it.
there should be a act or something passed that says if you purchase this, you have the permanent right to this media.
And it sounds like even if you do, which I'm not sure if they do, I'll be honest, I don't know if that's the case. But even if you do, it sounds like at any point they own it.
If the license is terminated, yank.
Wow.
That's why I always get wary whenever somebody says, oh, I bought the movie on Amazon. Well, that's good as long as Amazon decides to keep it up.
It's not as if Amazon will go away. I would be surprised at that. So it's not, companies go bankrupt or something. It's like, oh, well, we lost it. Sorry about that. It's, we just decided to pull it. And whatever their rationale is, doesn't really matter. If it's gone, it's gone. And if that's what you've purchased thinking that it would be there, you don't buy it. I would say most people, maybe some people go, I'm buying it and just kind of renting it. But I suspect that most people are buying it to have it, just like you would buy a physical copy.
That's what my understanding is, just based on talking with people over the years.
Sure, that's
they
it.
believe they have a digital copy. It's good forever.
Sure.
I don't need to buy a physical disc that's going to sit in my room with like 20,000 other discs.
Oh, man.
I'm just so dumbfounded at the lack of respect that these companies have for their audience in some ways. And it makes me not want to support them. I know why they're doing this. They're doing this to port things over to their primary streaming service. And it's understandable from a business perspective, but from a consumer's perspective, it's intensely disrespectful.
To understand why they do it, that's helpful to say, okay, here's the motivation, here's the reason. However, as you said, the reason is secondary to you're still doing it.
Totally.
And the people that you're taking their money, you're not, well, it's typical law, right? You're not performing the service.
And some of these companies don't even offer physical options. I remember
That's a
when
good
Netflix put Stranger Things season 1 out in physical media.
Sure.
Everybody was shocked because Netflix is like, we are not physically releasing this show. Oh, wait, this show's awesome and everybody likes it, so we're going to release the show.
Do we have any questions from the box?
Books have been an interesting thing in that they're paper, you can hold them, and then we went to digital books. However, Amazon still sells print-on-demand books. It costs more. Do you think there will be a point where they will have print-on-demand media? It'll still cost more, but people will be able to do it.
I think we're rapidly approaching that point a lot faster than I expected, honestly. I think there's so many tomes of media that people are just now discovering, that people want to find, that they want to add to their own personal collection. So I think this future, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility as once I thought it was.
I like that idea, though, that the option still exists, because I'm thinking about vinyl records coming back. For the longest time, they were here, gone, and now all of a sudden they're all coming back. So there is something about physical media that still appeals to people.
And it's not just I can hold it in my hand, I can touch it kind of thing.
Correct. So I believe that may be a good solution to this. Unfortunately, I don't know if we needed to even get there, but we are now here, I think. Rebecca, I hear there is a disturbance in the force.
Your hearings and rumblings are correct. We might have a new Star Wars film focused specifically around Rey. I'm saying might, even though Charmin Obaid-Chinoy says that she's directing this film. We've seen this from Kathleen Kennedy before.
I'm laughing because you say she's saying it. Is anybody else saying this, or is she over there going, hey, by the way, I might be doing this?
Everybody else has confirmed it at this point.
Okay,
I'm just
good.
warily optimistic because the last female-led Star Wars film was the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron film that, in another universe, came out this December.
Oh. And Rey. All right. Box likes Rey. You like Rey. I like Rey. Good character to work around.
Adam Driver specifically said, though, that he is not coming back no matter what they do because he's done. The character's done.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking Adam Driver promises to come back with an Italian accent to do this movie. I'm like, sorry, first thought. Tell us who you're reading this from and where'd you find this?
This one is from Deadline, Armando Tinico. This is interesting to me because Charmin is known for her documentaries, not fictional programming. So
she's won Oscars, correct?
She's won Oscars for 2 of these documentaries.
This is good. And I like that idea, though, that Rey could maybe feel more like a documentary.
That could be interesting. My temptation with that is I hope it doesn't veer into fan film territory, but I'm really always excited to see whenever Lucasfilm taps people that we either don't expect or they have a very specific point of view. I know I'm going to get a ton of heat from certain corners of our cinema community, but I honestly think the best film in the sequel trilogy is still The Last Jedi. I came to that opinion immediately after seeing it for the first time, and I'm still holding on to it because I feel like it takes Star Wars in a direction where it can grow and expand without having to rely too much on audience expectations.
And I would love to have our cinema community comment below what's their favorite Star Wars movie or even Solo. I thought that's where you were going to go. You were going to say, oh, I love the Solo. And I'm surprised they're dividing it up again. It just feels like the Star Wars franchise has been so chopped a lot in my mind versus, oh, it's just a movie, we're done. It's like, oh, by the way, somebody's doing something over here. I'm waiting for the Chewbacca Chronicles next.
Somewhere there's an expanded universe novel that should have been written.
I think it's true. Do we have any questions from the box?
With the announcement that this will be centered around Rey, do you think this is a signal that the mouse is doubling down on the sequel trilogy and kind of leaving the other ones alone? And what does this mean for the fans?
I'm excited because one of the things I love about Star Wars is the variety of Star Wars fans there are. When I was younger, one of the things that people did not like was the prequel trilogy. It was cool to hate it. Now it's cool to hate the sequel trilogy. That's the Star Wars movies that have been more recently produced, not the standalone films. I think this is a really good opportunity for younger Star Wars fans to immerse themselves in the universe that is Star Wars. I think this shows that the diversity of Star Wars fans. And it also shows that all the rumors of the sequel trilogy being erased by Disney aren't coming to pass. Disney knows what they have, and they're going to go for it.
For me, I grew up watching Star Wars. I was 8 when I saw the first one with my dad and my brother. I am amazed of the timeless quality of this franchise as a whole. I do find it interesting, although the subdividing of all the characters and things like that, I guess the thought for me would be maybe if they have one character and somebody loves it, then they're going to watch every movie that character's in. Most characters I like, most of them aren't overly memorable to me, meaning as a collective I like them, but it's not like, ooh, although when I was a kid I loved R2-D2 and I think my brother played C-3PO and
he feels very C-3PO-ish.
He does. He kind of has the look aside from the, shiny. Nobody wanted to be Darth Vader.
Nobody in your friend group. That surprises me.
Nobody.
Not even your brother's best friend who...
Oh, no, he's too hyper. He couldn't have done it. It's like, I'm like, hold on, I think I'm going to go do something else now. Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't a thing. He would have been a good stormtrooper, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, just throw him down the hill. But I laugh. There are few that are not, I don't know. I know, like Jar Jar, I love him or hate him. It's like, oh, I just...
Have you heard the theory that people think he's secretly a Sith Lord?
Oh, good grief. Now there's conspiracy Star Wars. A whole other franchise. Make it stop. Thanks for joining us this week. We're always excited to create experiences to bring our cinema community together.
Next week, we're excited to be reviewing the remake of Mean Girls. Mean Girls. And yes, it's a musical. And on our Movies and More weekly show, another new movie, The Book of Clarence.
One of us is excited about Mean Girls, and I'll give you a hint. It's not me. Please remember to like, subscribe, and to share our channel.
If you enjoyed this show, you might check out last week where we reviewed Poor Things, and we also reviewed The Color Purple.
Remember, cinema community movies are better together. Thanks for watching. See you in the next review.